Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Leach, back here with another reaction video. We got the 2025 MLB All-Star starters announced for the National League and the American League. Let's get right into it.
Truist Park, is going to host the game. First time Atlanta will have it since 2000. And, of course, you can't have
All-Star game in Atlanta, first time since 2000.
Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani?
Part of it. Hardly a surprise.
Look at how many votes, my goodness.
With nearly 4 million votes. Ex-mythic feats happen on an almost nightly basis.
Fifth career All-Star selection. Congrats to Shohei Ohtani.
The most exciting player
one of the league's best.
I mean, and everything that you're doing,
he's just phenomenal, bro.
His at-bats, and now you stop and watch him back on the mound doing what he
he's back on the mound finally. Working his way back. Look at the numbers. Home runs first, runs first, extra base hits.
Votes. Exactly.
First.
And of course, that automatic trip to the
slug
game
first, OPS first. Like, come on, dude. Congrats to Shohei Ohtani. He's going to be DHing.
OPS. Let's run through the
starting
remaining
DH in the National League.
NL and begin with the finalists.
So between Freddie Freeman and Pete Alonso for first base, see who gets it.
Leads all first basemen in slug.
It's going to be Freddie Freeman. Congrats to Freddie Freeman. 9th career All-Star selection. Oh, that boy.
And the fact that he's here
Freddie.
doesn't surprise anybody.
5 nights of Freddie.
Just because he's the heart and soul of this Dodgers team. From an offensive standpoint, he can go all over the field. He can hurt you. He can clip you with the home run.
Back-to-back Dodgers.
The most consistent line drive
61% to 39%.
In this game.
He gets his
I mean, I think that's fair. Freddie
narrow
deserves
margin over Pete Alonso, and how about Freeman returning to?
But Pete, you know, he'll probably get in maybe as a reserve.
At second base.
Finalists at second base, Ketel and Tommy Edman. Let's see who gets it.
Edman, the NLCS MVP. A ton of good vibes and well wishes to
Marte.
Ketel!
Well deserved, Ketel Marte. Third career All-Star selection for that boy. Ketel Marte. I said Cartel. My bad. Ketel Marte.
I played with him in the Dominican. All he's done since I played with him going back to 2014 is get stronger on
70% to 30. Wow, he won that by a lot.
And you see a fairly decent margin in which Marte won. Arizona, one of those teams that's going to be very interesting to watch at the trade deadline. The shortstop position in the
shortstop
National League
between
is
Mookie and
Ellie,
Francisco
Lindor. Aren't even finalists.
All right, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. Where's Ellie De La Cruz? I mean, don't get me wrong, Francisco Lindor deserves to be right here, but I don't know about Mookie Betts, y'all. I don't think Mookie Betts deserves to be up here. I think Ellie De La Cruz, if I'm gonna be honest, should be the starting shortstop in the National League, bro. If you go look at the numbers, if you go look at just what he does for his team, bro, Ellie does more than both of these guys, bro. I'm sorry. I love Lindor. I love Mookie. But I think Ellie got robbed right here, bro. This is crazy. He's not even a finalist for second or shortstop, not second base.
Betts is a finalist. Francisco.
So it's between Lindor and Mookie.
And
it's gonna go to Francisco Lindor. Mr. Smiley, 5th career All-Star selection. Congrats to Francisco.
Like, how is he not started an All-Star game? But one of the reasons why this year is he got off to an amazing start. He's
but I think Ellie,
Ellie, I think his ability to steal bases came early as well.
Lindor deserved it, but man, I don't know.
In a major way early on in this season.
Ooh, it's close, 56 to 44.
The shortstop position this year for the National
I just think they have to get rid of the fan vote.
Very, very close. You can't go wrong, obviously, with either of those guys or any of the 5 we mentioned, but it will be Lindor. An embarrassment of riches at third base.
Third base between Max Muncy and Manny Machado, the hot corner. Who's it going to?
25 homers, but he's not a finalist. Max Muncy is an incredible
Manny
but he's not
Machado.
An AL starter
7th career All-Star selection. Congrats to Manny Machado.
And again this season.
Well, again, he's
been doing it for a long time.
Things that we've seen him do, but he does it on both sides, right? Defensively, you just saw one of the plays that he made this season going down the line, but he's one of the ones that
he
so
blew out Max
Muncy.
Muncy.
By the way he swings the bat, he's a clutch hitter, and you mentioned the Hall of Fame track. He's a run producer, and he
Manny,
shows up
one of the
every
league's
single time.
best.
Again, Muncy, a dynamite month of June, but it'll be Manny Machado starting at third base. Catcher in the National League.
Catcher between Will Smith and Carson Kelly.
Carson Kelly got off to the scalding
Let's see who gets it.
OPS just over 850.
It's gonna go to Will Smith.
Only Ohtani has a better WAR among Dodgers.
Third career All-Star selection for Will Smith. First as a starter. Congrats to him.
It's unreal what he's done because of the overshadowing of Freddie Freeman, the
Will Smith
Ohtanis,
stuff.
you know, the Mookie Betts.
So was Carson Kelly.
320 batting average. I know we don't talk about batting average anymore, but when we talk about consistency, that's a guy putting the ball in play and doing it with authority. An OPS plus of 167, a catcher that can swing the stick.
And a decisive win over Carson Kelly.
Yeah, he won that by a lot.
Let's bring in our great MLB insider, Jeff Passan, for the first time. Jeff, a very SoCal feel to the National League infield, except at shortstop, where it's a first for Francisco Lindor.
Yeah, and it's surprising that he has never been elected to start an All-Star game.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And frankly, justified and warranted. This is a future Hall of Famer, Kevin, and a guy who I think really burst onto the national scene last year. You know, he's been there. He's been to 5 All-Star games before, but as a leader, as the heart of the New York Mets. And look,
so that's the infield: Freeman, Machado, Marte, Will Smith, Lindor, Ohtani,
Trey Turner.
Sheesh!
But I think that the image that
National
people
League
have of
stacked.
Francisco Lindor last year, taking
and they haven't even named the outfield yet.
National League Championship Series was indelible, and while there are others who might have better numbers this year, Lindor really has stamped his place in the game as one of the elite shortstops and one of the elite players, period.
Jeff, I love how you highlight that, and I'm going to stick on the left side of the infield as well with Manny Machado and what we've seen with him throughout the course of his career. Max Muncy has done a great job, but Machado, once again, 32 years old.
That's what I'm
already
saying.
has amassed 355 home runs. He's 6 hits shy.
He's still doing it at a high level, bro,
and at 32,
on both sides.
Can most likely
from the plate
get to
and the
3,000.
field.
A few
Like,
guys still playing the game that
much
can do
deserved
that.
for Machado.
I love how he started well this year and has really put the Padres on his back, especially as Fernando Tatis has kind of taken a step back.
Right, and again,
Yeah,
behind
Tatis
the plate
kinda
in the
been
American League, where Alejandro
American League. Who's gonna be the starting catcher?
Well,
Come
no
on
chance
now,
it
it's gonna
wasn't
be
Cal
Cal Raleigh. Man, he's had a historic season. First career All-Star selection, and he's the starting catcher.
So far this first
Congrats to Cal Raleigh. This dude has been on something different this season, bro.
He's already got an OPS over 1,000, but he does it from both sides.
He won that by
That's
a
the
lot.
most impressive thing while catching and doing
As
a
he
good
should.
job for the rotation as well as the bullpen, Kev.
Right, manages one of the best starting rotations in baseball and most home runs by a catcher before the All-Star break of all time. At first base
History.
in the AL now.
First
between
base, Paul
Vlad
Goldschmidt
Jr.
or,
and Paul Goldschmidt,
Vladdy.
11 trips to the Midsummer Classic. Goldie got off to a volcanic start, but
It's
Vlad
gonna
Jr.
go
got
down.
the new contract.
Vladdy.
Former Derby champion and
Fourth
Mr.
career
Stone.
All-Star selection for Vladdy. Well deserved.
But started picking it up and started to hit some serious bombs. The one thing about him is he's so consistent as far as being able to put the ball in play, doesn't strike out a whole lot, and is able always to have good run production and guys getting on base in
He
front
won
of him.
that by
Vladdy,
a
again,
lot.
one of the top in the game.
He's got a whole country behind him in the voting here. You can see that
Yeah.
no problem he handles Goldschmidt in the voting. At second base, Jackson Holliday is a former #1 overall pick, already living up to expectations.
Gleyber
in Baltimore.
Torres or Jackson Holiday for
Gleyber
second
Torres
base.
has 43 runs batted in, and the Tigers
It's gonna go to
second baseman with his
Gleyber
first career
Torres from the Detroit Tigers, his first
And it
career
really
All-Star
has been an important
selection.
signing for the Detroit Tigers as they needed some serious right-handed pop in that lineup. He's done a great job.
Yeah, that was a
of
good signing
balancing
for the
out,
Tigers,
Played
bro.
a good defense at second
Congrats
base.
to,
But I love the
Gleyber.
idea that now he's entered into a lineup where he feels extremely
I don't even know why
comfortable
Jackson
alongside
Holiday
guys like
was
Javier Baez, Riley Green.
a
some
finalist,
names we may be
bro.
talking
Has he
about
even
later.
really been that
Wasn't
good?
wanted in New York anymore. Signs with the Tigers, makes the All-Star team. The AL shortstop finalist.
AL shortstop Jacob Wilson or Bobby Witt.
Jacob Wilson hitting as high as 372. You got Bobby Witt Jr.
It's gonna be Jacob Wilson, the rookie.
Upset. Bert Campaneris, the only other A's shortstop.
First career All-Star selection for Jacob Wilson in his rookie season.
Remember the day he was drafted.
My
I was there at the draft
goodness.
day, interviewed him, so mature, and that maturity has led off.
Congrats
over
to Jacob
the league,
Wilson.
which you know, a guy
Oh,
that's
that was
so
close.
smart with the bat,
Woo.
always making contact.
Nah,
doesn't
Jacob
strike
Wilson
out.
really
He's an
deserves
old
this,
school
though.
type of player
I
that
mean,
we
so
love
does
to
Bobby
watch.
Witt, but he's
Very
got to go
narrow
to
margin of
only
victory
one.
over Bobby Witt Jr. Let's bring Jeff Passan back in. Jeff, that's a position in the American League that includes Witt, includes 2 former World Series MVPs in Corey Seager and Jeremy Pena, not to mention Gunnar Henderson, and yet it's Jacob Wilson that's headed to the
Whoa,
All-Star
Gunnar
game.
Henderson, he's been horrible this season.
Kevin, who knew that batting average still
has Corey
mattered?
Seager.
Jacob Wilson hitting .339 now.
What do you mean,
Really
batting
has been
average?
an
Yeah,
offensive
obviously it
force
matters,
after
bro. He's batting
struggling last season
.339.
in his debut.
Look
He's
at
a
the
fun
numbers.
player to watch, and I love the fact that he's going to get the national stage here at the All-Star game. You know, he's a little twitchy in the box, but he gets set and he can hit the ball to all fields. He hits for power. The son of Jack Wilson, the longtime Pittsburgh Pirate shortstop. Now, Bobby Witt Jr. is a better player than Jacob Wilson. I think Jacob Wilson would admit that. But in this case, hey, the fans had their say, and they said that they want to see Jacob Wilson in the All-Star game.
Absolutely cool to see.
I mean,
I like
yeah,
the idea that
that's
you get a young
facts.
player that's had a lot of success early on, get an opportunity.
Bro, I mean,
to
he's
represent
batting
his team, right? You think about a team
.339,
that struggled a lot, and he's
and
been
he's
one
a
of the ones
rookie,
that has
like,
stood out. I like that opportunity.
It's tough to
for him.
ignore that
Got
as a
first
fan
half
when
of
you're
the
fan
season
voting.
there
Like,
for Jacob Wilson.
but
Meantime,
they do need to
third
get rid of
base
fan
in the
vote, though,
American
I think.
League.
third
Jose Ramirez
base
has been a
between Alex
fixture for the
Bregman
All-Star
and
game.
Jose
Alex Bregman is a former All-Star MVP.
It's gonna go
back in
to
2018. Exactly what they needed in Boston.
Jose. Yes, sir,
He's gonna make his
J-Ram.
fourth All-Star game start.
Stop
The
calling
GOAT.
this dude
Fourth
underrated
career
because
All-Star
the industry
selection.
knows what he's capable
I mean,
of doing, and it's not just
what do
swinging
I have
bat
to
from
say,
both
man? It's
sides
Jose
with
Ramirez,
electricity.
bro.
It's also stealing
Yes, sir.
bases. He's already got
Putting
21
on for the
stolen
Guardians.
bases on the year.
Yeah.
Defensively,
Won
he's
that by
great
a
over
lot,
there at third.
as Jose
Remember, he
should.
took a little bit of a cut of money to stay
Yes,
there
sir.
in Cleveland.
Go
and
Guards.
He's been the brightest star there in Cleveland as well.
And a comfortable margin over Bregman to be the third base
Seventh
starter.
All-Star selection.
At the DH spot, things took a bit of a
Sheesh.
U-turn. A few
Designated
weeks ago, the
hitter
Red
Ben
Sox
Rice
stunned
or Ryan
baseball by
O'Hearn
sending
from the
Rafael
Orioles. Who's it
Devers
gonna
to the
be?
Giants. That's opened up the field to Ben Rice.
It's
But
gonna be
Ryan
Ryan
O'Hearn, finalist
O'Hearn.
a season ago, lost out to Jordan Alvarez. But
First
this year
career
he's
All-Star
looking like-
selection.
I talked
Congrats to
Ryan
Ryan O'Hearn.
on this season, and he talked about the adjustments he's made as far as
Yeah, he's
being
tough.
smarter about his pitch selection, not feeling like he has to swing at everything early in the count. And I think young hitters can learn from a guy like
Yeah,
him.
Ben
whose
Rice
now
got smacked.
Production has
Oh
stood
my,
out with this
look at
team, but
that.
also the power has become more in play on a nightly basis for Ryan O'Hearn.
And really, no doubt about a job by O'Hearn, who earns the trip to the All-Star game. Look, X, as we look at the American League portion of what we've unveiled so far, Aaron Judge is the American League MVP. But it is hard to overstate just how great Cal Raleigh's been.
Because he's doing some things that we haven't
Yeah,
seen
Cal
in
Raleigh
this
has been
game
on
at
a
the
tear.
catcher position.
You
And
got
I think
your
about
AL
doing it from
infield
both sides,
starters,
both righty and
Guerrero,
lefty with some
Jose
serious power.
Torres,
And a lot of
Raleigh,
Seattle
Wilson,
Mariner fans will tell you,
O'Hearn.
watching these games, he does it
That
in
looks
clutch
nice.
situations as well. It's not just home runs. He's also driving the ball in the gap. He understands how to hit with guys in scoring position. He's a team player first, and he knows how important it is on the defensive side as well. I can't wait to see him do the home run derby because he's got some of the most power we've seen in this game this year. And him and Aaron Judge are right there when we talk about MVPs.
Yeah, and Jeff, I mean, you talk about
Yeah,
more
that's
home
facts
runs before
about the
the
MVP.
All-Star break than Johnny benched. It's an unbelievable achievement.
Yeah, and the thing I love most about Cal Raleigh, look, he hits from both sides of the plate. He's a platinum glove winning catcher. Like, he has everything you can want in a catcher. But beyond that, he plays almost every day behind the plate. And in a position that's as difficult, as much of a grind as catcher is on guys. For Cal Raleigh to say, I want to be back there, I want to be in this lineup, I want to lead this Mariners team to the promised
wants to
land,
be
I think
great.
says as much about him as anything else, guys.
Honors with more than 4 million votes through Phase 1. No American League player had more
Wow.
than Aaron Judge,
Woo.
who automatically makes
Aaron
the cut.
Judge,
His first
yeah.
half includes the MLB lead, X and
Not
batting,
even a
total
discussion.
bases, on base, OPS, and
He was
more.
the AL
When I
All-Star
think about
votes
Aaron
leader,
Judge,
7th
I think
career
about a man
All-Star
that is
selection for
bigger
Aaron Judge.
almost
Congrats
than the game
to the
as far as
captain.
Size and stature, but also how
Well
good
deserved.
of a hitter he is, right? Like, it's not just
Aaron
from a
Judge
slug
is
standpoint.
stiff.
It's also, hey, let me pick
mean,
and
look at this.
choose which pitch you're going to bring to me, and I'm going to do damage
Look at that
with
numbers.
it on the right side, left side of the field, straight back. And I think the one thing that's impressive, too, is watching him be able to take his walks. He's smart enough to understand when pitchers are not approaching him and don't want anything to do with him, but also know how to hit mistakes on the outer half and on the inner half. To me, what he's doing is beyond impressive and one of the best things we've seen in this game for a long period of time.
Look, he's a legendary power hitter, but the average X flirting with 400. He's slumped a bit here recently, but flirting with 400.
That's what I think is the most
He's
impressive,
almost batting
and it takes
400. That's
adjustments
crazy,
to get to
bro.
that point. For a guy that has
My
a lot of power,
goodness.
right, a lot of bat speed, a very big hitter, to see him be able to shorten his swing.
Him and
early
Cal
in the
Raleigh are
count
both having
and still be able to
historic
hit
seasons.
rockets
Like,
all over
I
the field.
mean,
I appreciate that most, watching that from a guy that knows he can just hit, 50, 60 homers with ease. But no, I want to be a good hitter, and I want to do it all over the field. That's why he has no holes in his swing right now.
Let's bring Jeff Passan back in. Jeff, how do you put into context the season Judge is having again?
I think it's really simple, Kevin. You compare him to his peers in the American League. Aaron Judge's on-base percentage right now is 60 points higher than the next best on-base percentage, Jonathan Aranda, in the American League. Aaron Judge's slugging percentage is 81 points higher than the next best in the American League, belonging to Cal Raleigh.
My goodness.
All you have to do is just look at him against his peers, and I think it shows you that Aaron Judge is in a stratosphere of his own, and then there's just everybody else trying to be like him.
Right, and despite the year Raleigh is having, Judge still the prohibitive betting favorite to win American League MVP. Jeff, stand by. Other AL outfield finalists include Riley Green, his teammate Javier Baez, who's resurrected his career after moving from shortstop.
Kwan's up there,
Three-time
yes,
MVP
sir.
Mike Trout, three-time Gold Glove winner
Putting off the
Stephen
guards.
Kwan. And it will be Riley Green and Javier
Oh,
Baez.
two
joining Judge
Tigers.
in the starting lineup.
Okay,
Big
I mean,
representation
best
of the
team in
Tigers.
baseball
X
makes sense.
Green,
First
the
career
offensive
All-Star
star,
selection
best
for
team in the
Riley
American League.
Green.
Deserved
Congrats.
representation, and Green.
Riley
you look
Green's
at
been
last
tough
year,
this
we're
season,
trying
bro.
to really figure out what type of player he is.
Division
This is a
rival,
perennial
I don't like the
all-star.
Tigers,
This is a
but,
dude
man,
right here, and
can't
he's
ignore,
showing us on a nightly basis,
what
including most
Riley Green
recently
has
today
done
and
this season.
yesterday. But
Just
I
what the
think
team has
about
done
the
as a
representation
whole.
as far
Then
as
Javier,
Baez,
third career
think
All-Star
about how he
selection.
switched up his whole approach at the plate. This
Congrats
is a
to
guy that
Baez.
was easily able to expand, able to strike him out with 2 strikes. And now he's become a different hitter, and he's been more productive in the middle of this order. I talked about right-handed hitters. He's been one of those for him, for their team.
We wondered if Detroit was going to DFA Javier Baez at one point. He moves to the outfield, accepts the role, kind of like exactly what's happened there in
And
Detroit.
Kwan at the
and
bottom.
is
He
an
just hasn't had that,
All-Star
that season that we would have hoped for.
starter.
But
Incredible.
I mean, he was
to see
still
Green and
a
Baez making
finalist.
the cut. All right, Tigers and Nats today, and actually talking about it. I think it was fair to say this time last year we didn't know if Detroit had a position all-star.
Right.
They've got one in Riley Green.
People talk about this thing called an aircraft carrier.
This was against
Someone in
the
the middle of your
Nationals.
lineup that can just take over at times, and that's what we've seen him do as of recent. And it's been consistent too, Kevin.
2 3-run home runs today.
And
Wow,
this is the
2
one I like,
3-run
too, with 2
bombs.
strikes, using the middle of the
Sheesh.
field, understanding I can still get my best swing off if a pitcher makes a mistake right over the heart of the plate, and he knows exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, Riley Green is
2
tough.
home run day with 6 RBIs. That's serious production today.
11-2 the final score. Jeff, no Trout, no Byron Buxton, no Stephen Kwan, but Judge, Baez, and Green, still a lot of pop there.
There is, and look, Riley Green's been awesome this season, but Javier Baez, what a story. I mean, a guy who
Yeah, he's about to get
really
DFA'd.
was lost for the last couple of years as a Detroit Tiger. They move him to center field this year, and he's played only 33 games there. He's played 26 games, shortstop, 19 games at third base. He's more of a super utility guy at this point. But the bat has played, and the numbers that he's put up this season, frankly, have been remarkable in a Detroit lineup that coming into the season, people wondered, where are they going to get the power? Well, Riley Green's got 21 home runs and 69 RBIs. Zach McKinstry's been great. Cole Keith is hitting lately.
Yeah.
Spencer Torkelson's been awesome.
Their lineup's been awesome.
Detroit's lineup doesn't look scary on paper, but when you look at what the Tigers have done this season, tied for the best record in all of Major League Baseball, they deserve as many All-Stars as they have.
Putting on for
Javier
the
Baez is
American
your
League
typical
Central
All-Star. It's
division.
the
I mean,
combination of a really great comeback story, guys.
And I think to your point, Jeff, a lot of that has to do with it's a team-like atmosphere with the Detroit Tigers. And
They
it
just
sounds
had
cliche,
a
but I think
really
Javier Baez
good
has
season,
felt
bro. A
like
dream
really
season.
fed
I
off
mean,
of that.
that's what
OPS
my
over
Guardians had
120,
last season, and then
what I think
the
about
front
Javier
office,
Baez
man,
is, okay,
trade
I gotta
Naylor,
figure out how
trade
to make adjustments
Gimenez,
in order for
blew
me
it
to
up,
be on this
and
team.
look where
And
we're
you
at.
mentioned it, close to being DFA'd maybe at one point. I've got to provide utility. I've got to provide
But yeah,
better
I
at
mean,
bats. I've
I
got to
have
do better
no
with 2
argument
strikes.
with this
All
outfield.
of those things clicked for
You know,
him this
Judge,
year. And now he
Green,
finds
Baez,
himself
they all
in a
deserve
totally
it. I
different
mean,
position and in an
it's a
all-star.
W outfield.
Several new faces among the NL All-Star
We got the
finalists in
National League
outfield.
outfield.
Obviously, the move back to the NL for Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, 2/3 of the Cubs outfield. Andy Pages has been great, but the fan votes go to Acuna, PCA, and Tucker.
And Kyle Tucker.
Acuna made his return from a
So
torn
that's the
ACL in
outfield.
late May. He's got an
5th
1100
career All-Star
OPS.
selection for
That's the
Ronald
instant
Acuna
offense.
Jr.
I want people to understand it is not
I mean,
that easy to come back
ever
from a
since he
second
came
ACL
back, bro,
tear
he
and
has
do exactly
been.
what he's been doing. Inject
I
energy
don't even know how
into
to
an offense
explain,
that has
bro.
struggled all
He has
season
just
long.
been
He's made it
phenomenal.
look
Kyle,
so
or not Kyle
simple doing
Tucker.
it.
PCA, the
PCA, first career All-Star
Well, this
selection.
kid has been special because
He's
look,
had
we
an
didn't expect
MVP
the bat to all
caliber
of a sudden
season.
explode. Like, we knew he had
Straight
great
dog.
defensive skills, great
Congrats to
ability
PCA.
to run the bases. But now we've seen him level up from a power standpoint, and that's one of the reasons why the Cubs have been completely different.
And then a nice way to end
Then
the
you
free
got
agency,
Kyle Tucker,
Welcome to the
aka
conversation once again.
Tucker,
We know he's
the
one of
fucker.
best players
First
in the
career
game.
All-Star
I get to
selection
talk to
for
him
Tuck.
often, him
Congrats
being
to
from
him.
Tampa, me living down there, and I've seen now his ability to do it so consistent.
Well deserved.
He's entered into the Cubs lineup without any stop, without any hesitation.
Yeah, Juan Soto
has
has not. Yeah, he did not deserve to be an
He
All-Star.
is one of the most electrifying players in all of
There he
Major League
is.
Baseball. When I say Pete Crow Armstrong, starting outfielder for the 2025 National League All-Star team. Pete, how's that sound?
Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. Still processing a little bit, and I am overly grateful right now. So it's pretty cool.
Pete, how'd you find out? Who's the first person you told, and what did you say?
Well, actually, you guys are the first people I'm talking to about this, but we just had a great little team meeting in the clubhouse, and we got to do it last year with Shota, so getting to hear it be about Kyle, and then looking forward to the other potential All-Stars that we got. That was that's definitely a highlight of the year so far for me, for sure.
You played for one of the great high school baseball programs out there. You were a first-round pick. This success is not completely out of left field, but this has been a breakout season. When did you know that this was possible?
I mean, I think what I've kind of surprised myself with is obviously the power production, but in this specific time span.
Yeah, like he's not the biggest dude either, bro. Like
pulling the ball in the air is
21
something I've worked on
homers
for,
is really good.
my whole pro career,
And 62
and,
ribbies,
we're
25
really
stolen
starting
bases
to-
on top of that, and an
make
838
some good improvements
OPS. I
here.
mean,
But I think inherently I've always
what a
had enough
season it's been
confidence
so far for PCA.
to produce a year like this, and I think the
265
focus
batting
is
average.
it just becomes continuing the year that I'm having, and being a part of a ball club that's playing in October and winning meaningful baseball games.
Pete, do you have a favorite All-Star game memory that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think the All-Star game that comes to mind is when Trout won the MVP. I just, it's hard not to love Mike Trout, especially growing up in Southern California and playing center field. He was a heck of a role model, and yeah, I mean, I definitely, the All-Star game was a time
12
to watch,
outs above average.
to watch and hang out with my friends and my
Team
family. We
most
all love
among
baseball,
NL
and,
outfielders. Or team most, my
it's
bad.
super meaningful.
And now you'll be that guy that young kids are watching in the All-Star game and looking up to themselves. And we look forward to seeing you in Atlanta, Pete, and we certainly look forward to seeing you against the Guardians here on ESPN tonight. Pete Crow Armstrong,
Oh,
congratulations on an incredible achievement.
Gracious.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Think of that
Why
National
are we
League
even
outfit,
on
speed,
ESPN,
power,
bro?
athleticism, and man,
Because the
Ronald
Cubs,
Acuna
that's
back
yeah,
here in
that's why.
Atlanta.
And
The
to me,
Cubs.
I think a lot about the tools, right? Those are athletic guys that do so many good things in the outfield, but also at bat. When I think about PCA, I think about what he just mentioned. It took years for him to learn how to get to the pull side with his power. And for players, a lot of times you defeat yourself, or you
But
can get
yeah, that's
defeated
gonna
knowing
do it
that
for
something
the
is not working when you're trying to change something up.
AL,
For him, he
NL,
just stuck with it,
infield,
and
and
his
outfield. What
tools
is
took
y'all's
over, and he was
thoughts
able to
on
athletically
the
get to a point
these
in which he understood what he was
All-Star
doing. Now he's got
selections?
21
Let me
home
know in the
runs,
comment
and he had
section down
10
below.
all of last year.
Or
It
make
shows
sure
you
y'all
that
leave a
certain
like,
things click
comment,
and they take time.
subscribe if you
And look,
are
Jeff,
new.
things have been clicking
Smash
for a
that
long
sub
time
button,
for Kyle
y'all.
Tucker.
He's so good, man. Like it's the consistency with Kyle Tucker that I love the most. It's that every year
Yeah, that
he's gonna
outfield
hit in the high
is scary.
200s, low
Acuna, PCA,
300s.
and Tucker.
He's gonna take his walks.
It
He
may be
doesn't
better in the
strike
American
out.
League.
He
I'm not
hits
gonna
30
lie. I
home
think it
runs.
is.
He
But
steals
you know
30
who we're
bases.
rocking
He
with,
drives
American
in
League for the
100
All-Star
runs
game.
every single season, and that's what the Chicago Cubs needed to anchor that lineup. And I think the rest of the players in the Cubs lineup have really looked at Kyle Tucker and been like, oh, so that's how you take it at bat. So that's how you are productive like that. And Pete Crow Armstrong, I think, is a perfect example of that. I don't know if Pete Crow Armstrong has the season that he's having right now if Kyle Tucker is not there. But one fact that I
I
love
guess we'll
about
never
this
know.
All-Star game, Kevin, and it was pointed out by our colleague and friend Jesse Rogers, the likely starting center fielders in this game, Pete Crow Armstrong and Javier Baez, were traded for one another back in July of 2021 when the Cubs got PCA from the New York Mets in what wound up being an ill-fated deal for Javier Baez.
But that's gonna do it. Like I said, give me y'all's thoughts on the All-Star teams in the comment section down below. Like I said, Ellie De La Cruz should have been, I think, the starting shortstop for the National League, or been, a candidate alongside Lindor for that. But this is why the fan vote kind of need to go. I'm not gonna lie. With same with like Jacob Wilson. Like, I think Bobby Wood is the better player, but the fan vote wanted Jacob Wilson in there, and that's what they got. But yeah, we get Jose Ramirez back in the All-Star game, 7th selection for my Guardians. Congrats to Jose. Keeping our team, going, bro. It's been rough, but hopefully we can turn it around. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the 2025 MLB All-Star starters. And yeah, but that's gonna do it for this reaction, though. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video, and I'm out. Peace.